Have you ever had a bad day at the office or a bad couple of days? Now, I think that we all go into slumps from time to time. After all, if it happened to Christy Mathewson, it can happen to any of us. Christy Mathewson had a rough start to the 1908 season. Well, okay, maybe rough isn't entirely accurate. Mathewson won 6 of his first 7 starts that season. Most of us would love to have a rough time like that. But then something odd happened. On May 13th in Pittsburgh, he was shelled, giving up 8 hits and 5 runs in only 5 innings. And then on May 16th in Cincinnati, Christy was taken apart again. He came out after only 2 innings of work and 3 runs allowed. I'm not sure why McGraw took him out early, but then again, I'm not sure why McGraw started him in that game. Mathewson was pitching on 2 days rest. Now, the Giants did get off to a rocky start in 1908, so maybe McGraw was trying to rally the team, put your best pitcher out there, hope that you get a win. But it's kind of hard to say. Remember, sports writers at that time didn't exactly go interview players or managers after the games. Whatever the reason, McGraw thought it would be best to start him again on May 18th in Cincinnati. Think about that, that's with 1 day rest. And this was one of the worst starts of Matty's career. Mathewson gave up 9 runs and 15 hits in 7 innings in an absolutely awful performance. That was the 3rd start in a row that Matty lost, and it looked like he was really losing his touch. Now, in retrospect, it's pretty clear that Mathewson was tired. He had started 10 of the Giants' first 25 games by that point. I mean, even I don't overuse pitchers that much. And so McGraw gave him a rest. Matty's next start was not until May 25th in Chicago, game 31 for the Giants. Now, this was in front of a large crowd in Chicago and was against the defending world champions. Mathewson only lasted 2 innings in that start, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits. It must have felt like the magic was over. You know, I think we can all understand how Christy Mathewson must have felt. Everything in life was going so well, and then all of a sudden it was falling apart. I think that we've all been there. But there was a bright spot ahead. Mathewson's next start was in Brooklyn on May 29th. In front of a crowd of somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000, Mathewson was brilliant. He held the hapless Superbas to 4 hits, shutting them down completely while striking out 8. The Giants didn't get many base hits themselves. New York only managed 3 hits against Knapp Rucker, the ace of the Brooklyn staff. But New York won the game. They won it with a single run in the top of the 4th. This run came via a single, a sacrifice, and then a double, 1908 style. 2 of their 3 hits came in the same inning, but the Giants won just the same, 1-0. Mathewson went on to win 37 games in 1908, having his best season ever. I guess that just goes to show you that slumps don't last forever. Now, Mathewson in my 1908 replay is having a much different time. He's 10-0 and he looks unstoppable. And I came up to that same May 29th game against Brooklyn. I didn't take a look at the box score, I didn't consult the real-life lineups at all before playing this one. Ironically, though, the pitching matchup was the same, Mathewson against Rucker. The Giants managed to put one across in the top of the first inning. And then their bats went silent. Mathewson worked hard to keep the Superbas in line. But then disaster struck when Billy Maloney doubled to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Bill Bergen, the Superbas catcher, was up next. Took me a while to figure this one out, but after some careful consideration, I decided to bunt with him. He bunted Maloney over to 3rd. And then, with 1 out, up came Knapp Rucker. Okay, we've talked about this before. Now, the problem here is that Skatersoft, like APA, punishes you if you roll a 13 while bunting with the runner on at 3rd base. What happens is the runner is thrown out trying to steal home because the batter misses the bunt. Now, Rucker has 7 of those 13s on his card. 7 of the 36 play results give you this result. And though I feel strongly that the right thing to do in this situation is to have the pitcher bunt, I don't want to give handicap to the Superbos. I want to make sure that the game is played fairly, so after careful consideration, I decided to have Rucker swing away. Even though I don't think that's what would happen in real life. And yeah, I do think this is a flaw with the game engine. Rucker rolled a 12 for a 24. If we had bunted, the runner on third would have been thrown out of the plate. We didn't bunt, but the result was the same. The Superbos rallied again in the bottom of the 7th when Al Birch hit a triple with nobody out. Up next came Harry Lumley, who has a 168 batting average, a 216 on base percentage, and a 296 slugging percentage in this replay. Now, the right call here is obvious. You have to bunt. I bunted. And he rolled a 13, and the runner was caught out at home. Now, he only has 2 of those 13 results on his card, but we found one. I guess that's the way that the dice roll. Anyway, Mathewson won this start 1-0, just as he did in real life. Brooklyn only managed 3 hits in all in the replay, including that double and triple that I just showed you. Christy has now won 11 starts in a row. Can anybody stop him? And looks like in the end, it was a good day at the office after all.